Okay, welcome guys back to another Dokkan Battle video. And today we're actually gonna go through who should you spend your Godstone on in Dokkan Battle. So if you guys haven't logged in yet, in the past I think 2 days or 3 days, you would have received a basically Godstone or God Dragonstone 17. So this is obviously the 17th time it's happened, but the question is, who on earth should you get that could actually be beneficial for you or help you currently right now in the, you know, in the landscape of Dokkan, basically. So as you can see, we got some of the old original OG Dokkan Festivals exclusives. So you got the Super Gogeta, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This was the original lead skills. So Cell, Gohan, the very first Dokkan Fest ever. Super Saiyan Broly, Full Power Frieza, Beerus, Janemba, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and Kid Buu. The rest of them, they're just obviously regular banner units. So yeah, it's a bit of a like a mismatch, you can say. In all honesty, they haven't really updated from the very first Godstone. I think the very first Godstone only include the first Type 3 and 300 attack Dokkan Fest exclusive. So that include, I think, yeah, the very first one included only the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the Cell, Gohan, Beerus, and Frieza. The rest of them came shortly after, incrementally. I don't think they all came in one go. But yeah, and the rest of them is just basically banner units. They can pull in basically any possible banners that you summon on, basically. So obviously the question is, who on earth should you get? Oh, and you can get an Elder Kai as well, if you choose so. But the question is, yeah, who should you get? So okay, so I have two opinions about this. If you're a collector, right? If you like to collect some of these units, or you have a 90%, you want to rainbow them, I would definitely go for the exclusive Dokkan Fest, because obviously they're rare units to get, and in all honesty, some of these banner units are just not even worth it in this day and age, especially with how Dokkan is with Red Zone and Extreme Super Battle Road. Yeah, it makes no sense to go for those. And as a collection purposes, I think it's either best to go for one of these exclusive Dokkan Fest, because then they've never been in a banner for the longest time. And I think there's only 2 times in the past 4 years, I would say. In the past 4 years, I would say the only time that you could possibly collect some of these or have a chance to get some of these are the New Year Stepper banners or the Worldwide Celebration free tickets that you get. So in my personal opinion, I would say get this if you're a collector. However, if you're one of the more how would I say, if you want to get units that can actually benefit you and help you, I'm going to show you exactly which unit is best. So let's switch to Dokkan Wiki. Here we go. So first of all, we have the Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and I would say this guy is probably this guy is 1 or 2, like in the top 2 in my personal opinion on who is better. So Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, he is obviously a Dokkan Fest exclusive, so he's a lot rarer to get, but he does reduce damage received by 80%. So in majority of the cases, this can help you in a lot of the red zone. I think I saw Truth's ones taking, I think, 50k on Broly, if I'm not mistaken. So if I am mistaken, correct me, but I do think that this guy is probably one of the better ones, only because he does have a damage reduction by 80%. It is for 10 turns, so that's the part where I would say, okay, maybe he's not as good. but past 10 turns, he's useless. He's a useless character after 10 turns, but the first 10 turns he is a defend. He's literally one of the best options to put as a slot 1 unit, because it's not 80% damage reduction strictly only for regular attacks or super attacks. It's included for all attacks. So he does have another 120% attack when the target enemy is stunned, and it is pretty cool because his passive skill, I mean super attack, he does have a high chance of stunning. So in Super Battle Road, this guy can become clutch. To be fair, in Super Battle Road, he's so useful in Super Battle Road. I can give you that. And this guy is probably one of the more useful units in Super Battle Road. And the thing is as well, he does have high defense naturally, because this guy, he's one of the OG ones. So I think they gain on average 7,000 stat buffs if they're fully rainbowed for each HP, attack, and defense. Obviously they vary depending on the typing, but yeah, this, oh yeah, here we go. So he has literally nearly 12k defense. Obviously he doesn't have any attack and defense, but besides when the target enemy is stunned, but that's only attack. But reduces damage reduction by 80% for 10 turns start turn. I do think he is worth the Godstone, and in my personal opinion, I would say he is the best option as well. You're most likely going to be using this guy in Super Battle Road. For Red Zone, he is a viable option. However, you have to beat the Red Zone in less than 10 turns. My personal experiences, yeah, some of my battles has gone more than 10 turns, and I think if you've seen some of my first tries for beating some of the red zones, yeah, it's gone past first 10 turns. So yeah, this guy is probably my number 1 choice. However, you can argue that this guy, Super Janemba, is probably the better option. So hear me out. Obviously those 2 units are basically defensive units, and Janemba is pretty decent in terms of his defensive capabilities. He does have attack and defense 70%, and he does guard unconditionally with his extreme Z Awaken. He also has a medium chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, for 1 turn, and plus an additional attack plus 40% for 4 turns when guard is activated. So this guy does help in terms of basically being a defensive juggernaut. The only issue was this medium chance of evading enemies' attack for 1 turn. Obviously, as more turns progress, you still want him to wait, that's weirded so weirdly. Medium chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, for 1 turn. So I'm guessing if he does evade, he evades for the rest of the turn. I think that's what it means. So that does come in clutch in a sense, because dodging is obviously better than, in terms of defensive capabilities, dodging is probably the best ability over damage reduction, because if the enemy can't hit you, you take no damage. Obviously, you won't be taking this guy in, let's say, for example, Red Zone Broly, only because Red Zone Broly negates dodging. So this guy would be a glass cannon, even though he has a guard. But in Super Battle Road and basically any other event, this guy is going to be clutch, as well as this Vegeta. So in my personal opinion, with Vegeta, I would probably give him full dodge and then a rest on additionals. There's no reason for a crit. And for Janemba, I would give him full dodge, and I'll give him crit for the rest, because he doesn't really have any super attack abilities besides greatly low his defense, which is pretty useless. But yeah, he does have big bad bosses, so that's another 25% attack and defense. So honestly, guys, these 2 are probably your best options in terms of who to spend on the Godstone. You can switch them up. If you say Super Janemba is better than Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, by all means, go for it. But yeah, those are my those are my two options. So if you don't even have either of them, it's best to get one of them. I would say Vegeta's better at 55% than Super Janemba, but by all means, I would say these two are the best options out of the bunch, out of the options that you got so far. However, if you do have those two rainbowed, another good option would be this Vegeta. Only because he does his super attack, he does raise attack and defense for 3 turns, which is a 50% buff. And according to Dokkan Wiki. And then this is the good thing about him. He has a chance of evading enemies' attack, including including super attack, plus 10% at the start of each turn, up to 30%. And he does change tech to int if there's an ally who includes Goku attacking the same turn. Does help because he's also a nuker, but he has 20% extra on defense, which is this guy is more defensive than its counterpart Goku, which actually I think I have him next here. Yes. So Goku, obviously, he's more offensive with attack 30% for all allies 2 turns, but same part of the same passive skill, and then changes physical to SCR if there's an ally who's named Vegeta on the turn. But instead of dodging, he has 10% crit. My personal opinion, this guy is not worth the Godstone, so I'm gonna boot him out because he's all offensive. This guy is more defensive, so I would say this guy is probably the better option out of the all banning units. I would say this guy is probably the best. However, if you do have him rainbowed and you want another option, Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa, she's actually pretty decent. In my personal opinion, she's actually pretty decent. He does causes supreme damage and raises defense by 60% for 3 turns. So in that sort of case, I would give her full additional. Where in this case for Vegeta, I would give him full additional, but the rest on dodge. There's no need for crits for him because that's not his purpose. It's not really a damaging unit. I know he's a nuker. Well, he is a nuker. If you want to put him crits, by all means put him crits, but that's my personal preference. I would always advocate to make a unit more defensive than offensive, because every unit hits hard nowadays. So yeah. So Khalifa, she does have a low defensive at the start, but she does have a high chance of evading enemies' attack. But she also has a separate condition, where it's a medium chance of evading enemies' attack and countering with tremendous power. And then if you have Kale, attack effective against all type. In my personal opinion, she's actually pretty decent. She doesn't really hit hard per se. Again, she's more defensive, so I would give her full additionals to activate that 60% damage reduction, but then I'll give the rest on dodge. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, he is also a defensive unit. I would probably say, like, in all honesty, this guy will probably help you in red zone for STR red zone basic characters or unit. So a unit that comes into mind would be Super 17. He would defend pretty well, fully stacked up against Super 17 boss. However, you have to get this guy in rotation, and then you have to get his defense up. So he needs to receive an attack 4 times for his defensive capabilities be maxed, and his defensive boost is separate. So in accordance to this, just from the passive skill, he can reach defensive up to 477.6%, and then he can reach a maximum of 751% defense. So it does help. His defensive capability does help. I've got his defense up to more than 350k with support, but by all means, guys, this guy does help in basically strong units or strong boss events are SDR type. So in my personal opinion, I think these guys are like from 5 to top 5. So I would say this guy, my personal opinion, this guy would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have an honorable mention, which is actually this Kid Buu. he does have all allies 2 key and attack and defense 50%. And he does help in one of those niche events. So for example, the Pack-a-Punch event, where you have to deal as much damage as possible. When he's on rotation, that 50% attack does help a lot. And I think he's the first unconditional 50%. Well, he's the only unit that does give 50% attack and defense to all allies, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you do have to be HP 80% or more. So units, events like the Pack-a-Punch event does help. Like, this guy does help a lot in terms of getting your units to... Basically, this guy is a showcase support. So if you want to do some showcase or want to test out to see how well a unit can be, use this guy. This guy can actually help you in terms of getting some of your units to max attack or max defense. So, but in terms of like red zone, this guy's fodder. Don't use it for red zone. Oh, please do not use it for red zone. You can get one-shotted straight away, no contest. Like, honestly, guys. But this guy is good for those niche events. And if you want to do showcases, this guy's probably the best showcase support unit. And yeah, so that's my honorable mention. And so yeah, I just want to clarify this. I'm going based off going by 50%, like a 55% unit. So if you just have one copy. So obviously Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta would be the best one in my option. Super Janemba is the second best. This Vegeta is the third best in the option. Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa, and then Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. And if I'm going, let's say, via 100%, I would actually put Janemba over Vegeta. So this Janemba does help on a lot. Like, he's pretty decent on LR Final Form Cooler's team. So yeah, these two are the best options you can use. So Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Janemba, Int Vegeta, Super Saiyan 2 Khalifa, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and an honorable mention, Kid Buu. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash the like button. And I do appreciate you guys listening to me rambling about this, but hopefully it helps. Hopefully you get some units that does help, and it does ease your I would say decision making. But yeah, honestly guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.